Chess has this reputation for being a game only geniuses can master. But hold on a minute, that's a checkmate myth, and we're here to bust it today. The truth is, anyone can learn to play chess, and that means anyone can develop some serious strategic skills. If you're tired of falling victim to sneaky chess tricks, we've got your back. In this video, we're going to highlight some of the most common chess traps so you can not only spot them, but completely counter them. Stay tuned till the end. The Noah's Ark Trap. On the top of the list, we have the Noah's Ark Trap. Do you know the backstory of the name? The name comes from the biblical story of Noah's Ark, where animals entered 2 by 2. Similarly, in this trap, 2 of white's pieces fall into your strategic flood. Noah's Ark Trap is a chess opening trap that catches unsuspecting opponents off guard. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of how it works. 1. E4, E5. 2. NF3, NC6. 3. BB5, A6. 4. BA4, D6. We now enter the modern Steinitz variation of the Roy Lopez opening. 5. D4. White strikes in the center, aiming to exploit the pin on the knight or prepare for a push with D5. 6. B5. Black breaks the pin on the knight by attacking the bishop. 7. BB3. The bishop retreats to safety. 8. NX D4. The first of a group of 3 exchanges on D4. 9. NX D4 EX D4. Black recaptures with the pawn. 10. QX D4. If white immediately recaptures on D4 with the queen, they fall for the Noah's Ark Trap. 11. C5. Black strikes at the queen, preparing to trap the bishop with C4. 12. Q D5. White moves the queen, creating a dual threat, attacking F7 for mate and targeting the rook in the corner. 13. B E6. Black defends against both threats by moving the bishop, which also attacks the queen. 14. Q C6+. White checks the king, but black's bishop retreats, continuing to attack the queen. 15. Q D5 C4. The Cambridge Springs Trap. To help you understand the Cambridge Springs Trap, we need you to imagine a chess duel. You, playing white, 1. D4 D5. 2. C4 E6. White continues with the popular move NC3, putting pressure on black's D5 pawn, and black defends. 3. NC3 NF6. White pins the knight with BG5, and black reinforces their knight with NBD7. 4. BG5 and BD7. You, feeling confident, press the attack by capturing a pawn on D5 with your pawn. 5. CX-D5 EX-D5. Here comes the twist. White captures the pawn with their knight, thinking they can win material due to the pin on black's knight. 6. NX-D5. But black has a surprise. Black captures white's knight with their own knight, breaking the pin. 7. NX-D5. White eagerly captures black's queen, thinking they have a significant material advantage. 8. BX-D8. However, black has a stunning move, BB4+, a check that forces white's king to move or white to block their queen. 9. BB4+. White is forced to block the check with their queen. 10. QD2. Black captures white's queen with their bishop, forcing white to recapture. 11. BX-D2+. If white recaptures the bishop, black will take the pinned bishop on D8, leading to a winning position. 12. KX-D2 BX-D8. The next one on the list is the Rubinstein Trap. Here's the backstory of the name. The Rubinstein Trap is named after the great chess player Akiba Rubinstein. Now you need to use your imagination to understand this. Let's see how. Imagine a tense chess match. The queen's gambit decline unfolding on the board. You, playing white, open with a d4 pawn push, but your opponent, playing black, declines the gambit with a d5 response. You offer the queen's pawn with c4, and black settles into the orthodox defense with e6. The battle lines are drawn. You capture the center pawn with cx-d5, and black takes yours with ex-d5. Here's where things get interesting. You unleash your bishop to g5, pinning black's knight to its king. Black develops their knight with nbd7. but then makes a crucial misstep by fianchettoing their bishop with be7. This seemingly innocent move opens the door for your trap. You cleverly maneuver your knight to c3, preparing to castle. Black, oblivious to the danger, castles their king, sealing their fate. You seize the opportunity, bringing your rook to c1 and putting pressure on the pinned knight. Black tries to defend with re8, but your queen joins the party with qc2, setting the trap. With a bold sacrifice, you take Black's knight with bx f6. Now, Black faces a terrible dilemma. If they take your bishop with bx f6, you simply snatch their pawn with nx d5, gaining material. The real threat, though, lies in square c7. Your queen can capture Black's queen there with qx c7, leaving them defenseless. Black is caught in a blind. Taking your bishop leads to a lost pawn, while defending their pawn leaves their queen trapped. The Rubinstein Trap has sprung, and your clever maneuvering has earned you a significant material advantage. Black can only sigh in defeat, realizing their mistake and vowing never to fall for this cunning plan again. Knowing a trap and countering it is one thing, but learning smart chess tricks is another. Let's learn some easy techniques to gain an advantage over your opponent. First off is the fork, a two-pronged attack. Imagine you have been carefully arranging your chess pieces. Like a general setting up an army. You feel confident, ready to strike. Then your opponent makes a move that throws everything into disarray. They slide out a knight, not to attack one piece, but two. This, my friend, is the heart of a fork. It's a sneaky chess trick that forces you into a tough decision. Do you protect your queen or save your rook? There's no good answer, and you might just lose a valuable piece no matter what you choose. Now that you know about the fork, you might be thinking how to spot one. Well, in chess, spotting the fork refers to recognizing positions where a single piece threatens multiple opponent's pieces simultaneously. It's like identifying a tactical opportunity where you can attack two targets at once. The key is to see all the possibilities, even beyond the obvious ones, to surprise your opponent and gain an advantage. Next, it's time to learn about countering a fork. It involves finding ways to defend against or minimize the impact of your opponent's fork. Here are some strategies. Number 1 is to break the fork. If possible, move one of the threatened pieces out of the line of attack. By doing so, you break the fork and force your opponent to choose a different target. Number 2 is to defend with another piece. Sometimes you can defend one of the threatened pieces by using another piece. For example, if a knight threatens both your queen and rook, you might move a bishop to protect one of them. Number 3 is to sacrifice. In some cases, sacrificing one of the threatened pieces might be the best option. Evaluate the material balance and consider sacrificing a less valuable piece to save a more important one. The last one is to counterattack. Instead of purely defending, look for ways to counterattack. If your opponent's forked piece is vulnerable, consider attacking it in return. So the last technique is the pin, a stifling constraint. Have you ever felt like your piece is glued to the board, a helpless pawn in your opponent's game? This, my friend, is the pin. Here, a cleverly positioned piece from your opponent restricts the movement of one of yours. But the true danger lies in capturing the pinning piece. Doing so would leave your even more valuable piece, often your king, vulnerable to attack. We know you are wondering about spotting the pin. In chess, it refers to recognizing positions where one of your opponent's pieces is attacking another piece along a straight line. The pinned piece cannot move without exposing a more valuable piece behind it. Now, let's discuss countering the pin. Number 1 is to break the pin. Move the pinned piece out of the line of attack. By doing so, you break the pin and force your opponent to choose a different target. Number 2 is to defend with another piece. Use another piece to defend the pinned piece. For example, if a bishop pins your rook, move another piece to protect the rook. Number 3 is to sacrifice. Sometimes sacrificing the pinned piece might be the best option. Evaluate the material balance and consider sacrificing a less valuable piece to save a more important one. Number 4 is to counterattack. Instead of purely defending, look for ways to counterattack. If your opponent's pinned piece is vulnerable, consider attacking it in return. Use these tactics and strategies on the chessboard and tell us about your winning ratio in the comments section. If everything in this video helped you, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that we can bring you more fruitful content.